Hi everyone, I'm Petek Köke. The topic of this video is Vocabulary to Improve Your Writing Skills, Part 2. In this video, I'll talk about the importance of increasing vocabulary for writing first. Then I will introduce words to give reasons, words to explain results, words to explain contradictions, and words to explain differences. Let's start. We all know the importance of improving our vocabulary skills, and in the previous video, I talked about top 4 reasons why vocabulary is so important. You'll be evaluated in the writing parts of AGE exam, our proficiency exam named Assessment in General English, is your use of English vocabulary. To get a higher grade in this part, you need to use a variety of words and phrases. To help you do this, I'll introduce a list of advanced vocabulary items that you can use for different topics. There are also some common English words that you will already know and use, of course. Although all of these words and phrases are synonyms, some are used slightly differently to the main word. So let's start with the description of them by giving example sentences to make sure that you can use them correctly. Before starting, there is one thing you need to know. In order to remember what you have learned for the exam, you need to practice using them as much as possible. So, make sure that you create sentences in your own words to use them. You can either write these down or just say them. It's all your choice, but try to make as many sentences as you can. Let's look at the advanced words to be used in your written tasks. I'm going to start with the words to give reasons. Meaning because. As you all know, because is used to give a reason why something happens, or will happen. The first thing you can use as because is due to the fact that. It is also used in exactly the same way as because. Like in the example, I don't think that many people would choose to stop using their car due to the fact that public transport is slow and often dirty. You can also just use due to, but if you do, it should only be followed by a noun or a noun phrase. The next one is owing to the fact that. It is also used in the exactly same way as because, but owing to the fact that is a little more formal than the others. Just like in the example, owing to the fact that the confirmed cases have been extended because of coronavirus, people should stay at home. Or you can also say that the concert has been cancelled owing to the spread of coronavirus. If you use owing to, it should only be followed by a noun or a noun phrase, like spread of coronavirus. This is a noun phrase. The next one is on account of the fact that. You can also use it exactly the same way as because. It is also a little more formal than the others. On account of the fact that the weather was awful, I couldn't enjoy the day. You can also just use on account of followed by a noun phrase. Like in the example, in the second example, I couldn't enjoy the day on account of the awful weather. As you can see, the awful weather is a noun phrase here. The next thing you can use to give reasons for something is as. As university is now very expensive to go to, more and more young people are working part-time. You can see this. It starts with the sentence and it means because. The next one, I think you're familiar to this, since. You can use it to introduce reasons, like in the example. Since everything can be done from home with computers and telephones, there is no need to dress up for school anymore. The next one is, you're also using it a lot, because of. This form of because is used as a preposition. That means it can only be followed by a noun or a noun phrase. This is important. Please look at the example here. There were so many people in the shop because of the sale. As you can see, it is followed by a noun. Because of the pandemic, we need to stay at home and study online. As you can see, it is also followed by a noun phrase or a noun. Now, I have introduced the words giving reasons. Let's move to the second part. Words to explain results. As you all know, so has many meanings. You can see synonyms for so when it's used with the meaning of as a result or for this reason. When you want to give or explain what the consequences or the result of something happening were, are, or will be. For example, I was very tired, so I went to bed. Now, let's look at what kind of things we can use rather than so. The first one is therefore. You can use it to introduce a result or a conclusion. It normally starts a new sentence like this. You can use it after the full stop. She studied hard for the AGE exam, full stop. Therefore, comma, he got 98 out of 100. The next one is thus. You can use it in a similar way to so. However, it normally starts a new sentence like therefore. But in the example, you can also use it like this. She accepted his offer and thus became the president of the city. The next one you can use to introduce a conclusion is as a consequence. Please look at the example to see how it is used. The Cold War has ended. As a consequence, the two major world powers have been able to reduce their arms budgets dramatically. You can also use consequently, just like in the second example. There is no difference between them. The Cold War has ended, full stop. Consequently, comma, the two major world problems have been able to reduce their arms budgets dramatically. The next thing you can use to give reasons of a situation is hence, that's why. Today, coffee prices are far below the required rate. Hence, that's why growers are unable to pay their debts and cooperatives find it hard to survive. It was the end of the words to explain results, so let's move on to the words to explain contradictions. Meaning but. The first use of the word but, there are also synonyms for another meaning of it after this, is used to say there is a contradiction between a situation and what happened or will happen. Like, it was raining, but I went for a walk. The word but and its synonyms are always used in front of the what happened or will happen. This is different to another word used for making a contrast, although, which is always used in front of the situation instead. In addition, it is also used when you want to contradict what you or another person has said or written before. And I think the most popular one is however. It is used in the same way as but it is followed by a comma, and it is normally used, but not always, at the beginning of a sentence to contrast what was stated or said in the previous sentence, just like in the example. Most people are very worried about global warming, full stop. However, comma, it should be followed by a comma all the time. Very few people are willing to change things in their life in order to stop it. The next one is nevertheless. It is used like however. It can be used in both middle of a sentence to connect two parts or clauses, and at the beginning of a sentence to contrast what was stated or said in the previous sentence. Like this. Most marriages fail after between 5 and 9 years. Nevertheless, people continue to get married. You can also use it like in the second example, after a full stop, then it is followed by a comma. The next one is despite that. It is used exactly the same way as however. As you can see, genetic engineering has many benefits, full stop. Despite that, comma, it has caused concern among some people. The next one is even so. It is used in the same way as but you can also use but in front of it if you want, like this one. The fats are good for your heart, your cholesterol, and your overall health. Even so, people should remember to limit the amount of these they use each day. Lastly, there is yet, which is very similar to but. Please look at the example. In the 20th century, project managers have learned to manage costs and schedules much more closely, yet they haven't still achieved desired results. We have talked about the words to explain results, so let's move to the words to explain difference, meaning but. The second use of word but is used to say that there's a difference when directly comparing two things together. I like oranges, but my brother doesn't like them. You can use these when comparing something for different options. Now, let's look at the first one, whereas. It is used in the same way as but, like in the example. Weather describes the variations which occur in the atmosphere on a daily basis, whereas climate is a measure of a typical weather found at a place. You can also use however as the second usage of but to talk about differences, just like in the example. The people in the first photo appear to be feeling frustrated. However, those in the third photo look as though they are more anxious. The next one is conversely. It is also used in the same way as but it is used in an opposite manner or on the opposing side. Please look at this example. If you love and encourage your children, they will develop good self-esteem. Conversely, if you are harsh and critical, they may become angry and insecure. That was the end of the words to explain difference in terms of meaning but. And this was the end of my video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining my class online. For further information, you can visit our website. See you in the next video.